Hi folks, JP here from the podcast. Just to let you all know that the podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business. Alex is on Facebook and Instagram, and you can hit him up through the WhatsApp for any bookings on 07845 746 092. And also folks, the podcast has taken on a new partner, and we're partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. If you want any jerseys, or if you've got any memorabilia sitting around you want framed or anything looked after that way, contact John Mullaney, and you can get him at johnmullaney0971@gmail.com, or contact him on his mobile 07835 072 582. And here at the Unrestricted View, we hope you're all enjoying the content, and if you are, please like and subscribe. It's free to do so, and also share amongst your Celtic family as well. Hail, hail from all of us. Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's the Dial In. Joining me tonight, my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford, and a man that we've not seen for quite a long time, and he's supporting a new jersey. Looking good, mate. It's Mr. Barry Bannan. How are you, mate?
Very good, lads. As you said there, big man, it's been a long time, so I'm looking forward to the new concept tonight, and looking forward to getting chatting again about Celtic now the season started.
Yeah.
I've obviously been quite busy away in different countries and stuff like that, so I'm glad to get back to a bit of normality and get going again.
100%. Me and Ryan were actually starting to take bets on the fact that you'd maybe jot his passport. Remember the first year he came and you were jet setting about everywhere? We were starting to think either he'd have his passport or Bernardo, even for that matter, because he made his fair share of journeys there for the summer. But no, it's good to see you, mate. It's good to have you back on. How's the preparation coming for your season?
It's been good, mate. We obviously got a lot of our business done straight away before pre-season started, which helps. Gives the new players time to settle in pre-season and get used to what the manager wants, and strike up partnerships with the players as well in the pre-season when the games and results don't really matter. So we've done it really well. We got our stuff done quite early. I think there still might be stuff happening before the season starts, but we've prepared really well. We've played against some top teams and put in some good performances. So we're looking forward to the season starting now. We're all ready, so we can't wait.
Yeah, and obviously, as I said, Ryan, it's really good to get Baz back on, mate. Feels as if it's been months since we've seen him.
No, it's always good to get Barry on, JP, obviously. Having somebody at that level is brilliant for us, mate, and it's good for the viewers to obviously get that insight as well. And you always, like I said, your last season when you speak about Hatate, Baz said that he obviously thought he was probably the best in Scotland, and you're probably starting to see that now. I know when Matt O'Reilly's put his game up, but that's the sort of things that when guys who are in the game, JP, they can take stock at more than just myself or you or normal fans' opinions, because we've got opinions, but when you're in the game, in my opinion, I would say your opinion is a bit more respected than mere views, mate. So it's always good to get the views, and obviously like you said there, you've been away and working hard in pre-season, and a lot of people as well don't realise how hard it is for guys at this level. You know, away with their families and training away. It's not just all plain sailing. So it's good to get Barry back, and I know he's been busy, mate. So it's good to get him on, and it's good to be back on this Monday. Go on, big man.
Aye, it's good to see you, as I said, and what a better night to come on and have a wee chat about the Glasgow Celtic. Obviously getting after an absolute flyer for the league season yesterday. But as obviously you're new to this actual episode, because very soon we'll get a couple of guys in to have a chat with us. But beforehand, mate, what was your take on yesterday? And were you just happy to see Celtic back again, mate?
I've been obviously following the pre-season games, so they've been really good in pre-season as well. And I know you don't really want to look into pre-season too much sometimes, but I think they've continued their performances for pre-season into yesterday. Since Brendan's come in, we've seen a Celtic who's probably been sluggish, took time to adapt to how Brendan wants to play. I think last season you got the odd performance where you went and done what we done yesterday and blew teams away, but it was few and far between. It was mere just getting across the line, and the performance wasn't great, or it was good for 45 minutes, and that was it. But I think this pre-season you've seen a different Celtic, and you've seen that again yesterday. I was a bit worried, thinking it might just be pre-season. You don't know the other teams we've played against and stuff. I know they've had different teams, even though Chelsea were quite strong. You just don't want to look into pre-season too much. But I watched again yesterday and I thought they were brilliant. They blew Kilmarnock away, and we've had a few problems against Kilmarnock in the last year or two as well. So that could have been a potential banana skin yesterday if Celtic weren't really at the races, and it was far from it. You could see from minute one that it's a different animal now. It's a different animal. We'll get everybody back fit. I know he's wanting to add to that squad, but that squad at the minute is really strong. And when you do add to it, it's a worry for Scottish football, because I think they're miles ahead at the minute. So if we get a few more players in, then it's only going to be a bigger gap. But that's what we want. We're Celtic fans. We want to see them running away with titles and trebles every year. So I'll make it continue.
Yeah, and obviously, Ryan, like Baz has said, that the squad itself, mate, you can tell they're, in terms of Brendan's way of playing, they're more fine-tuned to it now. They're all buying into what it is he's doing. Alistair Johnson spoke on his kind of meeting with Sky Sports the other day, and he said the same thing. So you're kind of looking at that, and then you see the performance. To me, yesterday, mate, I don't know what your take on is, it, Ryan, but to me, it just seemed that that's a team that's been together for quite some time now. In areas in the pitch, balls are getting flicked round corners without even looking properly. The guys are there. Even boys like Nicholas Kuhn, who've just come in January, they're starting to show signs of stepping up for the manager and being able to carry out the duties required. And listen, as Baz says, it's an easy banana skin, that one, because Kilmarnock were a kind of bogey team for us last season. They put us out the League Cup. They turned us over down there as well in the league in December. But to play them to secure the league last season just at the end of May, to whack 5 against them at Rugby Park, and then you've took another 4, 9 goals in 2 games without reply against them, mate. If that's no convincing, mate, then I'm not too sure what is.
It was probably 5-0 going on 10, JP. I think if it was maybe in the middle of the season, it could have been that, because be a bit rusty at the start of the season, guys just getting fit again, guys came back for Euros and Arsenal's. They maybe not full peak, but compared to last pre-season, they look well in tuned, well sharper. Kyogo looked the Kyogo we turned it under Ange. He was flying, and the wee boys in the corner. I think it's for the third goal or the second goal. That's just quality, that pass. If that's Messi does that, it's the back pages of the American headlines for his team in Miami. So it might just be now this is where Brendan's getting everything that he wants for the team. And like I said, if he add to this team with the quality he wants, I don't want to be too premature, JP, but it's going to be very hard for anybody in that league to catch Celtic with the quality they've already got, and if you add to it, then it's going to be very hard. And that was Celtic yesterday, just getting gone. So you don't want to be too cocky, you don't want to get too overhyped, but it was a good start to the season. We kind of seen, like Baz says, in terms of pre-season, some of the forward play was very, very good.
Yeah.
And you've seen that yesterday. So I think it's just about backing the manager now, JP. If you give him the quality he wants, I have no doubt in my mind you'll continue success in domestic wise, and you'll definitely have a better chance of doing anything in Europe. But on yesterday, it was very good, and some of the football was what we're used to seeing at Celtic. I know Baz was right what we said last year. It was a wee bit sluggish, and certain games it was really below par. But it's kind of continued for last season. Last season ended when I didn't think it should have ended for us. It was my Ravens, or do we need to end the season now? Do we need to win the league now? Because the football was starting to really show, and it kind of just went into this season. So hope for that's the way we're going to go forward. And if you add to that team, JP, I think we could be strapped in for a very good season.
100%, mate. Yeah. What was it, Baz, yesterday that actually pleased you most in terms of the way the team played? Was it the tempo of the team? Because to me, mate, they just looked a team who's went up a level in fitness. But for yourself, mate, what was it that impressed you most yesterday?
I think you're starting to see the fruits of having a fully fit Rio Hatate. Kyogo was back to his cell yesterday. He was back to the Kyogo that the fans adored. By the way, this is a Kyogo that was probably going to, if the season kept going on last season, would probably found his cell on the bench.
Yeah.
He did a few times with big Adamida taking his place. So I think he's had a talk, maybe Brendan's talked to him, or he's realised himself that his standards, he fell below them last season. And at Celtic you get replaced when you fall below your standards. So he looks as if he's a different player. Hatate, you could see he's had a full pre-season, fully fit, unbelievable again yesterday. I think the tempo was massive difference for everybody to see yesterday. They're a lot better as a unit when when they're attacking and they lose the ball. The structure behind the ball is unbelievable. I was watching yesterday when they were attacking with the ball and they were getting in the final third. Liam Scales and Carter Vickers were like 35, 40 yards away from the Kilmarnock's goal. So if they're that far away, it means then the rest of the team are even higher. So the structure after the ball was brilliant. We call it a net. The net, when you're attacking, half the ball needs to be right to counter press and win the ball back. And Celtics was amazing yesterday. I think you've seen for the first goal actually, where they lose the ball in Kilmarnock's box, and O'Reilly's pressing, Hatate's there, Greg Taylor's there. There's 3 or 4 players run it straight away and they won it back in their box, and that's how you score goals so quickly, because you start running the ball that high up, you're going to get shots and goals. So I think the tempo was a massive difference for last season. I don't know what they've been doing pre-season, whether he's been working them hard, or it's just these players have been staying injury free and had 6-7 weeks training without any niggles. But their tempo was massive yesterday, and you can see the biggest thing for me was when they lost the ball, how quickly they won it back. It was unbelievable, and I think if you can, like I said, if you can add to that, and you've got people coming off the bench who are going to be just as good as the starting 11, then it's going to be a long season for teams, because like Ryan said there, that was 4-0 going on 6, 7, 8, first game of the season.
Yeah.
So it's against one of the better teams in the league as well, by the way. So you're going to be playing against weaker teams in Kilmarnock. So if that's what we're going to do to teams like Kilmarnock, it's not looking good for the other teams who are going to be bottom half. So I was really impressed. Like we talked about maybe a couple of days ago, JP, when you were saying about Brendan having a year to get his things into these players now. That's probably, it probably shouldn't take that long, but like you were seeing a different Celtic yesterday. Like I said, it was that was a Celtic that were out to make a statement right for the off and warn teams that it won't be the same Celtic that they played against last year.
Baz, to be fair, mate, I think what you're seeing yesterday as well has been an actual continuation from the pre-season games, because that's the way they've just went away and attacked every game they've played so far in that manner, mate.
I've seen the pre-season games, and like I said, the biggest thing that you can say about yesterday is they've continued that form on. They obviously played against tougher teams than Kilmarnock in pre-season, and blew them away, to be fair, with scoring goals, and that's been one of the biggest pluses for me since watching them this pre-season and the game yesterday. They're scoring goals, and a lot of goals at it. I think they took 8 in 2 games against Man City and Chelsea, and then you get another 4 yesterday. So that's 12 goals in the last 3 games they've scored. Probably conceded 4. So they're really attacking teams now, and like I said, the tempo is much better, and their counter press with people wanting to win the ball back as soon as they've lost it instead of throwing their arms up in the air and complaining is brilliant, and long may it continue. I just hope that's the benchmark that we don't fall below for yesterday. And like I said, if we add to that, we're only going to get better if we get a few new signings in, like Brendan's saying.
See your some of the Baz, obviously I noticed it big time during the 10 season when the structure was terrible. When we lose the ball, it was out of the camp and under Ange and with Brendan, the structure when you get off the ball just seems night and day. But is that something that gets worked on a lot, or is that just natural when guys know where they're meant to be on the park?
No, it'll be worked on. Because the hardest thing to do when you're attacking is think negatively, even if you're a defender or a fullback. When your team's attacking, you're automatically thinking, where can I be here to get the ball? And no, where should I be if we lose the ball, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite hard to think defensively when you're, and especially as a team like Celtic, you dominate possession most weeks. So I think you probably can get carried away sometimes and get caught ball watching and enjoying the attacking, watching your attacking players play and do all these tricks and play lovely 1-2s and stuff like that. You can get carried away and forget what you're actually meant to be doing. And I think that was a big push yesterday. You could see that Scales, Carter Vickers and Schmeichel would be leading it, but the shape off the ball when they lost the ball was really, really good, and that's how you seen them winning the ball back so quick, because they were in the position ready for a breakdown and they were there. There was free. It wasn't just people going in 1s and 2s. It was 3s and 4s, and the ball was back within 5 seconds, or they were winning it back high up, or Kilmarnock were just kicking it through to Casper Schmeichel or Carter Vickers, and then you're just reloading again.
Yeah, because Ryan, obviously, I was thinking about you yesterday, me man, when Scales notched that second goal, mate. You came right into my thoughts, and obviously Greg Taylor with the first goal, getting his assist and stuff like that. And I knew you were on the day job, mate. So I knew you won the at the game, and I was just thinking to myself in the moments, man. I was like, Ryan will be jumping for joy, and he'll be absolutely gone nuts, But no, I couldn't help myself but bring that up to you, mate.
Well, it's the same with Scott Wright plays, isn't it? It's the same you did with me and all when I went for Scott Wright. So I get it with Scott Wright when he plays with him across the water. So, but no, listen, on Scales, listen, I'm not going to sit here and criticise the guy, JP. You praise somebody when praise is due, and the fault was good yesterday. If it was bad defensively, then Kilmarnock would have scored. So, and that didn't happen. So the two defenders were very good, and like Baz says, they played really high. So in terms of that means the full team are getting high, and that's only going to be good for the way we want to play football, because the way we want to play, you kind of need to be high, because if you're a wee behind, it's harder to support the wee man up front, because if he's up front himself, we've seen it a bit last season when they had no support, because I still feel without Maeda, I know Forrest and Kuhn played really well, I still feel Maeda, in terms of the drop-off and intensity when he's on the park, it's still there to see, because I noticed it in pre-season, as soon as he came off, the drop-off and quality in terms of the intensity was massive. So I know Maeda might not be technically brilliant compared to other guys.
Yeah.
What he does on our side, it's just that's something Baz will probably kind of vouch for himself. It's something Baz, I think, and he may have the ability and the technical ability, but that desire to chase and work for your teammates, that's sometimes better than a guy that's good on the ball.
100%. A couple of wee messages have come in the chat asking where Big Alan is. Big Alan actually get called away to something in his family. Everything's okay. It's nothing. It's nothing anything bad or anything like that. He just get called away to do something with his family, so he's unable to be here tonight. But he sends his best wishes and I hope he's all had a lovely weekend. He says that's what the text message says when he sent me it. So I want to apologise also. I know we've been chatting here, but I want to apologise for starting late tonight. We had a wee bit of a technical difficulty. It was Ryan's fault. So any more of that, there might be a technical knockout. But we've got our first caller of the night, and I'll tell you what, he's more consistent than Scott Wright is, that's for sure. He's a man that's always in time as well. You always send him a link and he comes on just about his time, and he's a patient man. He's been sitting here for a couple of minutes now. But Francis Lester's going to join us, and don't know what he's going to be saying, but here he is. Good evening, Francis. How are you?
I'm good, JP. Good evening, lads.
Good evening, Francis.
Barry, how you doing, mate? All right?
Good, pal, good.
Good. Then the tenner's in the post, JP, for that intro.
No worries, mate.
No, listen, you know, for everything you've said about the game yesterday, I was there obviously with my grandson and my son, and it was fantastic. I don't even think we got out of second gear yesterday in that game. I thought we controlled it from start to finish, which was really impressive. The only thing that's kind of put a damper on it today is the news about these two other teams coming in for O'Reilly. I don't know if you've heard or you know anything about
it. Yeah.
That's worrying me.
Brighton's one of them, innit?
Yeah, Brighton and West Ham, I believe.
Well, I've not seen the West Ham. I've only seen the Brighton. Because Brighton's been all over Sky, so...
Yeah, well, seemingly West Ham are very interested as well, which is a bit scary, I think, you know, because if more Premiership teams start coming into the equation, I think, and the money they're not talking the silly money that the other teams have been talking. They're talking 25 million plus. So I don't know what you lads think about that. I'm a bit worried about it, to tell you the truth.
Well, Baz, I'll put that one to you, because for me, mate, I think it's inevitable that, you know, Matt's probably going to move on. But like Brendan has said a few times now in his pressers, he doesn't need to move on. But for me, it's got to be right for him. In my opinion, if it's a team like Brighton, then, you know, there's a good chance he's going to say bye-bye to winning trophies. If he's, you know, if he goes there, because I don't think Brighton, with all due respect, I know they're playing in a very, very tough league, but I don't think Brighton are one of the teams that's going to be challenging for trophies in that league, mate.
No, definitely. I think it'll be a big miss, but I think we touched on it last season a bit. It's a matter of time before he does leave. His performances in pre-season against the top English teams as well has obviously caught attention of a few.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe wondering if he can do it at that level. He's went and showed people who probably had their doubts that he can.
Yeah.
And that's why you're starting to see a few more Premier League teams come in now and throw your 25s and stuff at him. Because I've seen him close up against people like Calvin Phillips, Lavia for Chelsea, Chukwuemeka for Chelsea, and he played really well in both games. So that's probably how you're starting to get a few of these Premiership teams coming in for him. But I don't think he'll leave. I think if he was going to leave, he would have been gone by now. I think he would have jumped straight away at Atlanta. I think it came in for him early on, and got it done and dusted. I just think this far down the line in pre-season, and you see yesterday with social media and stuff, great to be back. He was one of the first players to put up straight away or something. I just looked at his social media and I thought, that's not a player that seems to me that probably thinks he's going to leave. I think he's got another year in him. I think he's enjoying his time with Brendan more than he did with Ange. Obviously with Ange he was still good, but I think last season he went on to new heights under Brendan. And I think you can see with players certain players when new managers come in who's not like the teacher's pet, but you can see who he's got a good connection with, and it looks as if Brendan and Matt O'Reilly are really close and they got on really well with each other. So I think we might get another year out of him. But like we said, we've seen Celtic, there's nobody bigger than the club. We've seen players come and go in the past. They always can be replaced. And I think we buying Paolo Bernardo, we've got a not ready-made, but we've got a perfect replacement for him sitting there now, waiting. He's not as good as Matt O'Reilly, but he could be still a young boy and he needs games. I think last season he was lit doing it when Hatate come back because he was in really good form and got dropped for Rio Hatate, which is understandable. But I think given a run of games, he could be a good replacement for Matt O'Reilly. But I think we might get another season out of him. At least another season, and then because it's always going to be there for him. He's still a young boy. You see the way he started the season yesterday. I don't think he has to worry about having a bad season and then these teams disappearing. I think he's just going to go from strength to strength the more he plays up here as well. So it's going to be there no matter what. It'll just be whenever he decides to leave. But hopefully for us that we get another season out of him, because the way he started this season, that midfield three has been phenomenal.
Well, Ryan, I think that would be music to every Celtic fan's ears, mate, if Matt O'Reilly was to stay another year. And probably an interesting take for Baz, as in, because a lot of people probably wouldn't have took any notice of that, the first one on to, I'm glad to be back, that kind of stuff. And like Baz says, he's got a great relationship with the manager. He's over giving the manager a big hug after yesterday. And but I think a lot of Celtic fans have now went into this kind of panic mode, mate, that we're going to lose him and he's going to move on. I'll cast your minds back to years past. We lost Henrik Larsson, and Celtic, fortunately, is a constant. We'll continue to evolve and be there. Players will come and go, and they will eventually move on. But I think that would be excellent if we can somehow manage to keep Matt O'Reilly for another year, Ryan.
It's one of the ones, JP. He either goes the new or he doesn't go, because I don't want to linger on, and then the last week or the last 2 or 3 days we're trying to chase to get somebody, because you don't want that. I'd rather just find out soon, ideally this week, if he's going to go.
Yeah.
Best wishes, Matt. You've been absolutely amazing. They'll be sad to see you go, and it'll be a big hole in the middle of the park for us, but at least you get the money and you can take stock, right? You've still got a few weeks to go and get some done, especially for the Champions League. I think Scotland, Bernardo, I'm a big fan of Bernardo. I think he's got a lot of potential and scope to be a very good player in the future, even plus beyond Celtic. I really do rate him highly. He can step in for Scotland, but I think European-wise, you would maybe need go to spend a bit of money to replace Matt O'Reilly, or at least get close to him. But I'm with Baz. I really hope he stays, JP, because I seen it yesterday with him, Hatate and McGregor. If they three are together, it's just no Celtic just not going to lose a lot of games by that midfield. It's not going to happen, because even if McGregor does die down a wee bit, you've still got the in the middle of the park, and you've still got Bernardo after him, so you've got Home and Awata still to come in as well, so you've got plenty there. So I think it's just all about the price, JP. If the price suits the club and the club hierarchy decide that they're willing to talk, then it's going to matter really to decide if he wants to go or stay. It is on him really, because the club can accept, as on no more, JP, but in the game, and with involving transfers and moving clubs, the club can see you can go, but if the players know up to the offer, say I don't want to move, I don't like the offer, I want to stay here, it's up to, is it really down to the player, Baz? Is it down to if he wants to go, even though the club accept it, can he just go, well, I know you've accepted it, I want to stay here for at least so often, then maybe I'll go with it on.
He doesn't need to leave. He's obviously got a contract at Celtic, so the board can accept all they want. But if he turns around and says, I'm staying, then he's staying. He's obviously got a couple of years left in his contract, so it's ultimately up to Matt O'Reilly if he wants to go. No doubt the board probably would accept 25-30 million if they got it. But then it's the ball's in Matt O'Reilly's court then to decide if he leaves or not.
Yeah, Francis, obviously you were there yesterday, mate. Did you enjoy your day? I take it, obviously, you enjoyed the football, the tempo, the play, and everything else that came along with that.
I thought we were great from start to finish. No, just finally on that point there, the other thing that actually gives me a wee bit of comfort was looking at the way he celebrated the goals with other players.
Yes.
So often you see him, other players sort of charging over to really have a right good celebration and they kind of dance and carry on and all that behind the goals. But he looks like a player that's really happy at us, as I say, you know what I mean? So I'm quite happy to see that. But in regards to the rest of the game, I just thought we were really, really good. Brian made a point earlier on about Maeda not being there and the intensity. I thought we had the intensity yesterday, and I thought Forrest. I still can't get away with the way James Forrest is playing. I thought he was.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he was going by players there as if he was a teenager again.
His wee nutmeg was brilliant, man. On the blue in the wing.
Superb.
Nah,
but
superb.
his close control has changed, I think, as well. But I'll go back to the point of having his testimonial last year. For me, I think all the pressures came off James Forrest because before that he was getting stick for that, and me included. I probably slagged him to death for a couple of seasons as well because he was coming on and he wasn't affecting the game. He wasn't making anything happen. He was running down blind alleys. He wasn't putting decent balls into the box. To me, he looks like the James Forrest that burst into the team all the years ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I thought he was tremendous again.
Yeah, I think that could be down to the manager, Francis, as well. I think the manager could be getting the best out of a guy like James Forrest. He knows the guy really well. He knows him inside out for the first time he's been here. And, you know, obviously, you know, different managers get different things out of you. You know, we hear about, I was listening to, I can't remember who it was that said it the other day, and it's, you know, Brendan's man management is what really, really comes to the fore. And the way he treats players and stuff like that. So it's probably not surprising, mate, that James Forrest, I mean, they do say you get better with age. Now, people think to yourself, right, he's going to get slower. He's a winger. But he doesn't look as if he's slowing down. And that's the thing as well. And like you says, Francis, I agree with you, mate. I think we did have that intensity yesterday because I noticed something really prominent yesterday for us was that our wingers, both Kuhn and James Forrest, were working back the way as well. So they weren't just going forward, they were actually working back the way. And obviously that's been something that's worked on. And then when Palmer and Yang came on for the short piece of time they were chasing people back as well. So that must be something that they've really, really worked on in pre-season. But obviously, just moving on, Francis, I take it you're just looking forward to seeing Celtic more games now and getting into the flow of the season, mate.
Yeah, that was the point I made to my son yesterday. I says, what you've got to remember is this is our real first game of the season, you know, the first one meaning of the season. And I think it'll probably still take, you know, another couple of games to get a full 90-minute match legs, if you like. And I think we can only get better, I believe, you know. And as I say, if we get the additions, you know, another centre-back, left-back cover for Gig and another striker, I think we'll do a treble again this season. I never like to make predictions, but I feel it's there for us.
It's great, and this is where we are now, Celtic fans. This is the belief this manager seems to, because for me, Brendan Rodgers is a guy that's a catalyst of making trebles a possibility. He's a guy that's kind of made it the norm for us. And now the way we're playing and everything, you look at across the city, the way things are going there, there's an element of fear now coming for them as well, because I know I've got friends that are of that side, and you know they're texting me things like, "Oh no, man, we play you in a couple of weeks," and I think I'll be watching the game behind the couch and stuff. But listen, Francis, thank you very much, mate, for taking the time to come on and have a chat with us, mate.
Pleasure. Good to talk to you, and I'll see you again next week, maybe. Yeah.
Cheers, Francis. Okay, mate. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye. Francis Lester, great guy, man. Yeah, just touching on what Francis was saying there, Baz. You look at, you know, the way Celtic are and the fine tuning of them. You can only, it's scary to think, mate, that they're actually going to get better as the season goes on.
Of course, I think Alistair Johnson's only been back a couple of days before he played yesterday. You wouldn't have known. You get Kasper Schmeichel, who's been in the door for 10 days or so, maybe. He's going to have to take time to get a better relationship with his defenders in front of him, which will add to the performances and the clean sheets, no doubt. And I it probably was a lot of the players' first 90 minutes yesterday. They've been coming off a lot in pre-season. Other teams have been coming on. Other players have been coming on as well. So they've not even had 2 or 3 90 minutes under their belts yet. As a player, you need the 90 minutes. As soon as you start getting them, then you start to progress and you start to play a bit better as well. So, like I said, that performance yesterday was amazing considering the circumstances of lack of minutes, lack of understanding with the goalie in the back four. Alistair Johnson's just back. There's loads of things yesterday that could have added to a cagey performance, but it got blown out the water, and it was as if they were ready, and they've been back for 3-4 months playing with each other.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we've got our second caller of the evening waiting, guys. I don't know how to introduce him here. Probably a surprise for most, but this is my dad, John M. He's decided he wanted to join us tonight, so he's coming on to have a chat with us.
Good evening,
Good evening.
gentlemen. Good evening,
evening.
gentlemen.
Good evening, John.
How are you?
Not too bad, how are you?
Aye, I'm all right. I was broke down. My van actually broke down. That's how it took me so long to get here.
Yeah. Thank God it wasn't
Well done.
Celtics back four it broke down yesterday.
No chance. No chance.
What's your point tonight?
Just the way we played yesterday, I thought they played some great football, like they done on the tour. They just carried that on into yesterday. And I just wanted to say that when I was there and watching it actually live rather than watch it on the telly, I just thought Celtic were immense. Yeah.
Ryan, I'll bring that one into you, mate. Obviously, I was at the game yesterday with my dad, and he's obviously he can only say what he's seen, and I would second that one with my dad there. He's certainly Celtic were immense yesterday.
Yeah, it was very good, and like Baz says there as well, in terms of first game of the season, the guys went away, guys not been here a long time, new signing, and Casper in goals. How's the back four going to go with him? And it just kind of slapped down like Joe Hart. Didn't really see a difference, and he's actually bigger than you think, Casper. He's a big lumpy guy.
Yeah.
He looks he can handle himself. So I think we're definitely brand new in that department. I think he'll command his area, and he's very good with the ball at his feet. He's always wanted to play similar to the way Craig Gordon tried to play, but Gordon wasn't as good kicking wise. But you can see Casper. I think you'll probably see a lot of breakaway goals with him doing that going forward. And it's a good point that obviously Francis made as well, and James Forrest. And again, I'm maybe not his biggest fan, but you can see now, he's fresher now. You can see he's still got bits and bobs that he can contribute, and it's just crazy how he didn't get part of the Scotland squad as well. When you get a guy who's fresh and how he's trying to into that Euros, but maybe I don't know if it's you feel on this one, Baz. Obviously, the Scott Brown, Rogers come in, Scott Brown he was talking about he maybe going to retire, he was feeling it, his injuries and his hip and stuff. And then Rogers come in, whatever he's done, changed his regime, his diet, whatever he's done. Do you think he's maybe done the same with Forrest, and that's maybe how Forrest is maybe going to play a bit longer?
I think if he working under Brendan before, it's played a big part in James Forrest's resurgence. I think I seen Brendan last season said that James Forrest was the best winger at the club still, and James wasn't playing. He wasn't playing at the time. And since that interview that Brendan's done, James Forrest has just seemed to go on to another level again. I was actually speaking to my brother about it this morning, and probably a year or two ago, people were saying he was finished. It was he needed to go to another team down south, or even some people were saying that Hibs or a Hearts or something to just get games. But James Forrest. I was lucky enough to play with him with the national team. I thought he was brilliant. One of the best players in that national team when I was in the team at the time. Direct, quick, can go either way. But he had a great footballing brain as well. He could mix it up. Wouldn't he had to take a guy on to beat him? He could take him on by beating him with a pass and moving. So he could mix it up, and I think you're starting to see that James Forrest again. I think he's been in and out with injuries and stop-start for the last 2 seasons, but I think he's got a manager there now who believes in him, and he knows if he's fit that he's got a chance of playing under Brendan. And I think Brendan will know how to manage him because he's had him before and knows what... Brendan will know James's body probably better than James does himself, so there might be wee tweaks where he don't train every day for in the week, where he gets a rest and others have to train, or he might train every day. But I just think that team talk last season, or the interview last season where he said he was the best winger he's got at the club, was a massive confidence boost for James, and he's kicked on and not looked back.
John, would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I know he got an injury maybe a couple of seasons ago, and it kind of slowed him down a bit. Well, I noticed that in his play, that he slowed him down, and he wouldn't go into tackles as much as he did. But now I see a lot of sprite in his legs. Even for, I know he's getting a bit older, but he's come right onto a game for even last season. I think he looks better, he looks faster, and he looks more confident in himself. So definitely, he's like a new player to me. I mean, because I used to say to JP all the time, get rid of him. You know, he's finished.
To be fair, Ryan used to say that to me all the time, I know.
I know. And but to me, I just see a new player in him now, Barry. You know what I mean? And I just think he's come right onto a game now, and he's looking. I think he looks more hungry, and he looks assured in himself, if you know what I mean.
I don't even think, because I was speaking to my brother about it this morning on the phone, and I said we were basically saying he's got his speed back, but then when I went away and thought about it today, I was like, he probably didn't lose his speed at that point either. I think what he lost was confidence. So
Maybe
when he's picking the ball up, he's hesitating because his confidence is at all-time low at the time. But now he's picking it up and he's running at people, and you're starting to think, oh, he's got his pace back. But when he was playing under Ange and stuff and getting games here and there, his confidence wasn't high. So he was just doing the simple thing and passing it, and fans were like, he's not running anymore. He's lost his legs have gone. I just think his confidence is sky high at the minute, and every time he picks the ball up, he wants to beat that defender. And I think, like I've said, I know what he's got. I've played close up with him. I've played in the same team as him with Scotland, and he's a fantastic footballer. Like I said, you normally get wingers who just want to beat their man and don't get their head up and look for the passes, and that can become a problem. But James, he's got a wonderful talent of being able to mix it up. He can run at you, and he can find a pass as well. So if he keeps fit and keeps going the way he's gone, like you said there, I think he could be like a new signing for Celtic.
I agree with you 100%. And he can score goals. We've seen that in him as well.
Yeah.
He can
just before we let you go, John,
no worries.
The points on Matt O'Reilly. What's your take on that?
The points on Matt O'Reilly. I think Matt's happy where he is. I mean, I'm no inside watching what's happening in there. Mm-hmm. But to me, he just, even on the tour in America, I thought he just looked at home. He just wanted to be there. Do you know what I mean? And he's begun to play a lot better than he did before. And he picking passes, seeing runs and scoring goals, obviously. Yeah. And to me, I think Brendan's got a hold of him somewhere down the line and said to him, look, gonna give us another year here, and you can get your big money move next season. I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's the way I look at it. And I think he's happy. Do you know what I mean? And it's down to agents, innit? It's down to agents like to get him either out the club or get him a new deal or whatever. So, but for me, I would love to see him stay for another season and then get his big money move.
Yeah. Well, listen, John, thanks very much for taking the time with us tonight. Hope you managed to get your van sorted and that dilemma is over now for you.
I want to give a big shout out to Paul, the AA guy.
There you go.
Watching it, well, he told me I'll be watching, so.
There you go, then. So, If you're watching, Paul, hit the subscribe button for us, mate. But cheers, John. Thank you.
Cheers, John.
Bye.
Thank you.
What a guy, man.
Spitting image.
What a guy. I've actually got a comment from Stephen. My dad was talking there. I didn't want to actually say too much there, but Stephen actually reckons that you and my dad were in the same room, boys.
It's actually true. It did look quite similar, didn't it? The lighting and the wallpaper.
Yeah, it did, aye, because of the way he was. No, he actually asked me.
I was doing a few hours for
yeah,
I was doing a few hours for the AA tonight.
You've got Paul in your house now, haven't you?
Paul, put the cheese away, you idiot.
But no, listen, some good points. I really do think I've never actually had that take on Matt O'Reilly, lads, to be fair, because I just thought, like, if he's going to be offered like double, treble his wages, when you dangle that carrot in front of someone, 9 times out of 10 they move on, and But like Baz says, Ryan, I think overall, mate, he doesn't look like a guy that's in a rush to get out the door.
No, I think it's Baz will know himself, been through transfers, but agents involved, clubs involved, the players involved. It's not just about Matt saying he wants to go or no. There's loads of things involved, and this fight drag on between their days. If Brighton do want him, I'd imagine if Brighton really want him, it could be done very soon. If they really want him and they put a good bid in, then it could be a way to the south to talk, or the agents might do the talk for him. But I think it's all about. I think in football these days, JP, obviously Barry's been with Sheffield Wednesday for years. This is his 10th year, so Barry will know about being happy at a club. If you're happy at a club, your family's settled, he's obviously probably getting paid decent money at Celtic. It might be my wage rise if he stays, who knows. But he might just, because you've got to think about it as well, right? He's going to get 8 games at least in the biggest stage in the competition that you can play at football, Champions League. He's going to get 4 brilliant derbies. He probably will get picked for the Denmark team now. What Mikos is there. Backlash he got for not getting picked, so he's probably a shoe in for the next international break. So what is the advantage? Is he going to maybe Brighton or West Ham? Yes, he's playing a bigger league. I get that. Maybe playing against better players to test his skill, but he's not really going to be challenged for. Put it this way: if he goes to Brighton and West Ham, if he loses or draws, it's all right. It's fine. Next week we'll go again next week. But the pressure at Celtic compared to other teams, it's night and day, and he's guaranteed a chance at a treble probably. He's guaranteed a chance of progressing his game in Europe. So if he goes to similar like Van Dijk and Armstrong, guys like that, he's playing a lot of new Van Dijk in Europe now, but it's Southampton, doesn't really do much in terms of European football, then they went to Southampton. So you've got to think of that aspect. But if he might go, if I go to Brighton, then I'm not saying he will, but I might need to Chelsea, Arsenal. Then he's put himself bigger in a short window by doing it against them. But like Baz says, he's done it against Chelsea and Man City with Celtic in the tour. So that's opened his situation there. So I just hope he stays, IP, because I really think he's brilliant, mate. I seen him again yesterday, and I'm lucky I've got to see him, but I get to see him when I go to games, and he is really good, JP. He's really, really good. I think he's maybe underrated, actually, JP, to be fair. Maybe I'm bagging him up too much, but I think he's took his game to another level, and I've no reason to say why when he go to a team at Brighton and be a standout, personally, because I know that league's very, very hard, but I think he's very good. Maybe the top 4's a bit too much from the new, but I think he could include into the top 10 and 12, 14 down south and make a massive impact. But I just hope he stays, mate, because I think he's vital to us improving in Europe.
It'd be some laugh though, lads, wouldn't it, if we'd done a swap deal for Billy Gilmore?
Barry, I would take Billy Gilmore in a heartbeat, mate. My heart's so happy. It'd be brilliant for us.
I think obviously Billy's going to. It looks like he's going to make a move over to Napoli, didn't he? Because they've already bidded for him and get rejected. But I think Conte wants him over there. But I was just trying to think outside the box there. Really, I think it'd be some laugh and a meltdown across the other side of the city. I think if that was to occur, we'll just say, right, we'll sweeten the deal, give Billy Gilmore, and we'll think about it. But Baz, do you think a big factor will be the fact that Celtic are still they're back in the Champions League again? Do you think that's obviously a big carrot for Matt to remain here?
I think last season was his first time in the Champions League. He, on a personal note, had a really good campaign actually in the Champions League. Matt Riley done really well in the games. Hence why Atletico Madrid and teams like that were looking at him. So I think he probably enjoyed it that much that that could be the big staying factor for Celtic. That he gets to play again in that cup. So but I was thinking as well, if he really wanted to go, I've been around players who want to leave clubs, and you see it in football. They wouldn't be performing like he's performing at the minute. Might not even be playing. They would probably have an injury maybe that is not really an injury but a niggle to no play to make sure he doesn't get injured and scupper a deal. So like I said, I don't think he's a player who's wanting to leave Celtic. Could he be forced out? Maybe by a bid being accepted, and then it's then a different thing to think about for Matt Riley. But right now at the minute where clubs are only meeting the valuations, I don't think he'll be really too bothered to sell Matt. Because if he was, he would be probably doing similar to what Adam Ida's doing at Norwich. He would be turning up late, or he'd be going to see the chairman saying, "I want to go. Can you accept the next bid?" And none of that's been happening. So that's why I think we've got him for another year, because I know the bids haven't been accepted, but if he was interested in going to any of these clubs, he'd be making it known, and it doesn't really come across to me like that.
Yeah, I also think, Baz, as well, he could be a shout now of getting into the Danish squad, as Martin Weghorst has been announced their interim manager after their managers moved on. So obviously that was a big game changer, I think, personally for us as well. It could have been, because if he'd have went to the Euros and showcased the form that he's in just now at the Euros, that could have done Celtic badly, and he could be away by now, you know, if he showed that kind of form. But no, it's been interesting this wee chat, because it's certainly turned my head about Matt O'Reilly, because I'm like Ryan, I don't want this to go right down to the wire in the window now. I would prefer, if he was going to go, he'd be well away just now, so that we can continue to motor on and continue our season. But maybe the stars have aligned. I don't know. Maybe it was a bonus for him not getting selected by Denmark. Like you says earlier, Baz, he's such a young lad, so his Denmark time could still come. But I think it could be a big opportunity for him to get a game now with Denmark in the next international break, mate. Because obviously Martin Weghorst was at the Celtic Awards when he was getting the Player of the Year in the Hydro, and Martin spoke very highly of him in an interview with the cameras and that before the ceremony begun. So I think he could potentially get minutes with Denmark in the next international break, mate.
I think obviously he's had a taste of international football last season. He obviously missed it in the tournament there in the summer, which would be disappointing. But I don't think that falls down to O'Reilly playing for Celtic, because there won't be many players in that Denmark team that are playing for bigger teams than Celtic. So I don't think Celtic's was a factor in Matt O'Reilly not going to the Euros. For whatever reason, the manager thought that certain players were ahead of Matt O'Reilly for the Euros, and that's fair enough. But it wouldn't have been the fact that he's playing for Celtic, because there was a few players for Brentford and people like that in that squad who have never played in the Champions League. So Matt O'Reilly's actually probably more experienced than most of the centre mids in that Danish team. So I don't think he'd be too bothered about his international career by staying at Celtic. I just think he wants to play in the Champions League. He loves the manager. That's obvious that he loves the manager. And he obviously loves the fans as well. How can you know? Like, you've got the fans that adore you up there. These all play big factors. And he's still a young boy. He's still got time. to go and enjoy himself in this big league down here. But he's got enough time to worry about that later on. If he's happy where he is now, he's enjoying his football, which it looks like, then I think he should continue doing that, because he's that good a player that whenever he decides, I want to go, he'll go and he'll get a move that he wants.
Yeah. Slightly moving on from Matt O'Reilly now, Ryan. A debut for Casper Schmeichel at Celtic Park yesterday. And I know Big Sutton was having a laugh at commentary when he says to Ian Crocker, you could have played in goals a day for Celtic. To be fair, mate, you could have probably played. His old man was there, I know. You could have probably played him in goals still. It just the way Celtic played yesterday, Kilmarnock were never going to trouble us at all.
No, it was probably a good debut for him, JP, to settle in and just used to staying in the fans and just being at Celtic. But I think sometimes you would, again, I don't know if you would prefer an action-packed debut or want to kind of settle you in. I'm not too sure, but I thought it was fantastic. His position is very good. You can see his vocal. He's out kind of doing a sweeping role as well. So he's going to be vital for us. I know he's getting older now, but he's a fantastic player, and you can see that he's wanting to be here. That's the biggest thing. He's a winner. He's talking about he's wanting to add to the success and add to the history, and it probably might have been the easiest game he's played in a long time, JP, but he's still got to be there just in case, and I think he's going to be very good for us going forward, and I just think his experience is vital, especially for the Champions League. He's obviously won with Leicester, he's done well with Anderlecht, he's playing the Euros. I don't know if he's playing a World Cup with Denmark. I'm not too sure if he won a World Cup recently. It probably has, right up to his age. So I don't want to really do a disservice to Joe Hart, because Joe Hart was unbelievable for us. But just in terms of maybe where Casper still is in his career, I think he's maybe just a bit better than Joe Hart in terms of for his age and still playing at that level at the Euros and stuff. And I just think he's better than Joe Hart at his feet. But Joe Hart was crazy as it sounds. He was actually getting better with Brendan. When he bought his feet, getting quicker. And I just think as well for the European side, I don't know if it's something that you ever thought of, JP, but I'm big on the kind of dark arts in Europe. Like, I think we last year with Joe Hart, when we're maybe nothing reached with Real Madrid or 1-0 up against Athletic or whatever it is, we're rushing things, want to do quick shies and quick free kicks, just settle down, use your experience. And I think he's the sort of guy that won't be rushing to get the ball. He'll use his head, he'll go, right, we're 1-0 up here, settle down. Tell the ball, I want that ball or that ball. Just three small things. I know that might, to a lot of people, it might sound silly, and it might be things that we don't think about, but it's things that I think about. If you're 1-0 down, 10 minutes to go, what are you doing? Just settle down. There's no need to rush. So I don't know if that's something that might add to the team, but his experience is going to be vital, and I'm looking forward to seeing him, JP.
100%, mate. But as I've said to Ryan before, and obviously Big Alan and a few of the lads, in my opinion, mate, he passes the ball at a midfielder, Casper. And I think even yesterday you saw that with the kind of forward passing into the midfield. And there was one he hit right into Matt O'Reilly, and Matt O'Reilly turned and crossfield passed it right out to Palmer. It was just too much on it. Palmer just couldn't get to it. But it had just totally taken about 5 or 6 of the Kilmarnock players right out of the game. And clearly that's something that's been worked on, because, again, they done that against Chelsea over in America as well, where they just split the whole team open. It was actually Kyogo that was the outball instead of Palmer. So his distribution, mate, is something that's, especially in the Champions League, I think is going to allow us to kind of change the way we play.
No, he's obviously really confident with his feet, really good with his feet as well. So he sees pictures as well. So, like, if the centre backs are, he's giving the centre backs another option. He not having to use them. If he sees it, he'll do it himself. He's confident, big goalie. He believes his own ability, and you can see that with some of the passes he's trying. I seen he's 37. He's been about. He's won everything really. He's won the Premier League, he's not going to be bothered if he gives a ball away to a midfielder for the other team yesterday. He'll just keep trying it because he looks as if he's not arrogant, but he looks as if he's got a confidence and he believes in his ability. And goalies nowadays are not just there to stop goals. You can see all the best teams in the world, all their goalies are really, really, well, they have to be now to play for these teams. They need to be good with their feet, and we're lucky that we've got them in the door because, like I said, you've seen in the pre-season games and even yesterday when needed to be called upon, he's a top goalie. Not only keeping goals out, but he can also give you another dimension with passing forward and raising the tempo rather than going to a centre-back for the centre-back to do it and the other team's in position. He can just fire it in and the team are out of position, and before you know it, you're in at the back four for one pass for the goalie.
Yeah. Baz, do you think, obviously his dad was at the game yesterday, which in my opinion gives us a great thing there because it gives us more eyes on us now with someone like Peter Schmeichel being in the crowd. But not only that, Capper will no doubt have a lot of friends from the Premier League, so we could actually, as the season goes, we could actually start to see more, well-known guys from the Premier League coming to just watch Celtic and Casper.
No, obviously his dad was there yesterday to watch his debut, and I'm no doubt it'll be a permanent fixture. His dad probably going to watch the games. But like you said, his dad's obviously got one of the biggest names in football for himself, and he'll have some big contacts that no doubt will want to come up and watch Old Firm games and see Champions League nights. So I think that'll be a trend this season that there will be some big names coming to watch Celtic, because no doubt after Peter seen that yesterday, word gets around and he'll be spreading the word to his mates about coming up and feeling this atmosphere, and that's not even half it yesterday. Wait till it's an Old Firm or a Champions League night. He won't know what's at him. So no doubt there'll be a lot of big names turning up at Parkhead because his old man's getting them to come and watch the games. Yeah,
Ryan, I thought, obviously seeing his dad in the crowd and you see the pictures, mate, like I've just said to Baz there, mate, I think it's going to open up that window of opportunity to put Celtic on a slightly bigger scale with more eyes on us as well, because of Casper and the reputation he does have, both with the Danish national team and obviously Leicester in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's obviously good as well when guys coming from who have played down south. Obviously, Sinisalo as well coming to Aston Villa. So the more people that have taken down south, it will open your eyes. I know Celtic are big enough anyway, but they kind of don't really look at Celtic in Scotland as big as maybe what they should because of the league. And I get that, I understand that. But listen, it can be another one as well. Casper knows something, it could come up low and say to anybody, I fancy him. I know that might not be something good happen, but if Mike Bass as well, contacts, Michael might have contacts in the game and all, it might know guys who come to Celtic, who knows. But the thing that's interesting to me that I think, well, for me, it shows you that you've got that kind of garrulousness, you've got that, no cockiness, but you've got that belief in your ability. For me, Baz, I know, obviously me and JP have seen you, Baz, for a few years now, and it's something you do. You always try passing. Even if you get a ball away, you still try and do that pass through the lines. Do you see that in a player as well? If you watch a player like Casper or O'Reilly, is that when you know somebody's a good player? When even though the pass might be on their own or they might get away, they still do it again because they've got that belief that they'll do it anyway, even though they've made a mistake, they'll still continue to do it.
Of course, I think it's not really that they're trying to pass, it's when they keep trying it that you think he's obviously got a bit about him, because he wouldn't keep trying this if he couldn't do it, kind of thing. So I think he's got a big believer in his own ability, and rightly so. And like I said, he's not going to be too bothered about like conceding a bad goal or getting the ball away when he's trying to play out for the back. He's been there, done it many a times, and will just keep going and going. And that's what you need, especially in that position as a goalie. You need amazing confidence, because if you make a mistake, it's different to everybody else in the park. Normally, when you make a mistake as a goalie, you're conceding a goal. So you need to be made of strong stuff to be in that position, and no doubt we've got one of the best, because you've seen throughout his career he's a top goalie, and we've seen it in the early days already. 2 pre-season, three games already. I think you'll find it hard to get around Celtic Park on Sunday and find them dates. I'm not sure about Kasper Schmeichel as a goalie. I think he's quickly won the hearts of the fans with his performances in pre-season, which is mad to say, but he has.
Yeah, 100%. With a wee comment up, Baz, there, I don't know if you managed to catch it, mate, just as you were chatting. Red Scotland's in the chat. He says, would be interesting to find out Barry's opinion on how many players and in what positions we need to sign for us to make a better impact in the Champions League, or any impact for that matter.
I think we had this conversation the other day. I don't think we're too far away from getting through the groups. I don't. I just think we need another centre half, potentially a left back, and a winger, I would say. Obviously, we need a striker as backup, but going for our strongest 11, I think actual starters, I would say 2, 3 max. I think we could do another centre half to come in and start and play in the Champions League, a left back, and potentially a right winger, because I know Kuhn's started pre-season really well and started the season well, but it's too early for me to comment on if he's got what it takes to keep going at that level, because that's a different jump completely. But early signs for this season, he looks as if he's come back a different player. But at the minute, I would say probably 3 starters in them positions, and I think no injuries. I think you get a good chance of getting through the groups.
Ryan, do you go with that, mate? That's what Baz said there is what's in my head. I've said 3 as well.
In terms of making an impact, you could say 3. I think overall I would say 5 if you want to include a bit of depth. I would say ideally 2 other strikers, somebody for backup for the wee man, and maybe a third choice just to I don't want to be disrespectful, say put out the cones or anything like that, but just to maybe if there's a big injury for Kyle go, or the injury if it's Adamir that comes in or somebody like that, then they can come in and play the League Cup games, because we're going to a lot of games next year. So I think the squad, I think Brendan did mention it, the start of I think it was in the last season or during the season, that he needs depth, and I think Baz did mention at the start of the pod that you kind of want guys who are going to come off the bench, and the quality isn't going to drop as much. I know it's so hard to find another 11 players, that's not going to happen, but you've got some guys there like Bernardo, Palmer, come off the bench. I'm still no 100% on Yang. Personally, I think he's got a lot to prove for me for last season, so he's got a big season ahead of him. He can still contribute to a certain degree.
He looked really energetic yesterday, Ryan, when he came on as well.
I think in Scotland the bench is enough depth right now in the Scottish, in the domestic, but
maybe the centre forward position, Baz, like you said, because obviously when the wee man get clattered by McCrory yesterday and went down, I was here we go, man. I was like, no, here we go, man. But that's an interesting one, isn't it, Baz? Because if that's not offside, which obviously it's not, because Lewis Mayall's playing him on, as we've seen, why is it not a penalty?
I thought it was a Stonewaller. I watched Sports Scene as well, and I think they said about the refs classed it as a coming together that can't really be avoided. But I think maybe outside the box you could maybe class it as that and play on. But when it's in the penalty box, it's a bigger decision, and you need to get the penalty. I think if it's outside the box and it's a set of circle, then you can maybe say it's unavoidable, really. Like the two of them have come together 50-50, just let play on. But I think when it's a penalty like that, under that scrutiny, I think it needs to be given, or looked at least.
Yeah, 100%. Ryan, would you go with that in that instant, mate?
I thought a Stonewaller. Similar to Chris Sutton, if it's no offside, then why you no gave it.
It's now been shown that Lewis Mayo actually plays him on. People were saying about his arm, but the rule is now it's your feet they've got to go with, not your arm.
But like Baz said as well, if they've looked at that and no gave it, then that's concerning, JP. It's very concerning for the rest of the season, because for me as well, the Conor Barron one, for me, it's a penalty, because I know there's meant to be wee tweaks to the rule, but if that's the rule now and that's the standard, it's going to be like all season now.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to be very hard for them to keep that all season if they're going to stick to that, because obviously, Baz, you play yourself. I know you're not good VR in the Championship, but it must be so hard for even players without VR. You've seen players going like that and putting the hand because they're not wanting a home ball. And is it hard, Baz? Is it in your mind when you're making tackles or making blocks? With your hands with all these kind of changes, or because you're not getting VR, is it less in your mind when you're playing?
For me, no, because we don't deal with VAR. But we had the referees meeting last week, and I was arguing with the referee who was in doing the session, saying, like, he was putting clips up and saying we would give this as a penalty this season. This shouldn't have been a penalty. And there was a game that he showed. It was a clip for, I think it was a Premier League clip, and the boy's shot, and it's like ricocheted off the foot and up onto the hand, and he was saying something like that get given as a penalty, but we wouldn't be giving it as a penalty this season because it's hit him and come up and then hit his hand. So it's not as if he's put his hand there and it's hit his hand straight away kind of thing. And then he showed the exact same clip that it ricocheted, but no as much as the first ricochet. So it's hit like his knee, but no changed as much direction. And he was like, we wouldn't. That's a penalty. I says, what, this season as well? He was like, yeah. And I was like, why? Because it just hit the guy's foot and hit his hand. And you said it's not a penalty because it's hit somewhere before and his hand wasn't in a natural position. So I was arguing with him saying, well, if it's hit somewhere before it hits his hand, how does it matter where his hand is? Because if it hits somewhere, it doesn't matter if his hand was in a natural or unnatural. It's hit somewhere and then hit his hand anyway. And he was like, so even then in that meeting, I still wasn't really convinced with what the ref was going to give this season as a penalty. So it's the handball rule's crazy, absolute crazy, because our defender was saying as well to the ref, that's a natural position, though, for that defender there. He's stretching. And he was like, we don't think it is. And our defender was like, I'm a defender. That's something I would do. And the ref was saying, we don't think it's a natural position. So you've got a ref telling a player who plays that position and probably finds himself in that position that many times. The ref telling the player, it's not a natural position. The player's going, I think it is.
So is the referee going on opinion or is he going on rules?
He's going on rules. So it was basically like, if your hand, like, so the Conor Barron one's not a penalty given the new rules that have been stated to us the other day, because it's a natural position. He's lunging and it's not like up here, or it's like in between the frame of his body. But the one that we get showed, it was quite high, but the boy was off balance and then the guy's chopped back. So as the guy's chopped back, the defender's reading it and throws his arm up to change direction as well. And the ball hits his arm. And our defender was like, his arm needs to be up there because he's changing direction at a very quick pace. He's not putting his hand up there to like, because he's just putting he's putting up there for balance to keep like to change direction. And he's like, well, we don't think it shouldn't be there at that time. And the defender was like, well, I don't know.
Did you get booked for arguing with him?
No, not yet.
For me, Baz, a handball is, if it's deliberate, well, I know I've not played football nearly 8 years now, right enough, but even that, it's got to be deliberate. You've got to either put your hand to it or make a movement. But now it just seems like it's a penalty, and like you've just said there, if you're in a natural position or you've meant to make a tackle, how can you make it handball when you've not actually went to go and actually I get
Lads,
I
I feel
think
like
see with handballs, you can tell a mile away from reactions of the player who's done it. You know the handballs where like nobody's deliberately ever, apart from like the obvious, but barely ever does MD handball the ball in their own box and mean it. Barely ever. But sometimes you'll get where the ball changes direction with a deflection or something. And you know the ones where you try to pull it in to get it away, but it hits you. But you've stuck it and then pulled it away. But you'll know from the reaction of the player because he'll be looking at you straight away. And I think the player's reaction, who's handled the ball, will tell you everything you need to know.
Well, we seen it in the cup final, didn't we? Like you're saying, Baz, in terms of Ben Davies, when the ball bounces up and hits him in the arm, and his arm's out here. His face went scarlet, knowing
you know
that, oh man, this could be a decision here that goes against us.
100%. I think reactions tell you everything because there's no many players that are going to deliberately hand the ball to get handle the ball in the box to give away a penalty. There will be a time where the ball's changing direction that quickly that you've not got time to think. So you do put your hand to it, but then you'll pull it in straight away as soon as it's hit to try and hide that you've handled it, and then that's when he'll then look at the ref straight away. But it's the handball rules. I think it needs sorting. I think it needs to go back to the way it was right at the start. Like if it's deliberate, and you'll know if it's deliberate or no. You can't be people smashing balls across the feet, like across the boxes across, and it's hitting the guy who's 2 yards away. Can he move? And you're saying penalty. You can't.
I know that's mental.
You should. Common sense should tell you like what can he actually do to get out the way? You can't. Like distance tells you everything. If it's far away, then maybe. But you're seeing penalties getting gained last season. Boys are 2 yards away. It's getting smashed off their hands and they're still going to VAR and getting penalties.
Look at one Euro. Was it against Denmark?
It was unbelievable. The Germany game, wasn't it?
Yeah, aye. The lad for Denmark, the ball hit him here in his arm. And his arm's down here somewhere, and they gave a penalty.
But he can't go anywhere.
The other one I think they need to fix up here is the camera angle. You look at the one with Liam Scales plays that sort of great ball to Kyogo. What a first touch that was for the goal. Get chopped off. But the boy, it's the same boy again that's standing outside the mega bar that gave offside to Jota. He's miles away for on the line to see, and then they're drawing lines. So they're drawing lines for, I don't know, Glasgow Cross. Do you know what I mean? To try and get that to see whether he's onside or not. It's mental. Like you've got to have a camera view where you're right on play with the line, in my opinion, because it just defeats the purpose. Because it then becomes guesswork in a sense. Because I'm still doubtful, that Kyogo's goal was offside. I really am. I think, I'm very dubious to it, Ryan.
It's not the technology, it's not the rest. It's just we're always going to get this argument with VR and stuff up here. I just want it to go back to the old school. I know it's not going to happen, but it's here to stay because of the finance that's been spent on it, and they're never going to take it unless there's an absolute revamp for every team in Scotland that goes into them and go, listen, we don't want it. Unless there's going to be a big uphill maybe, but they've got to sort it, JP, because I know we're not involved in that, but it's not hard to look at a line and say you're offside and put a camera angle straight on. Surely if they've got to have more cameras at the game, then invest more money. If you want to make the game better, the product better, you need to invest, because if you're going to, similar to them back mob across the water, they're investing in cheap stuff for a stadium. That's why it's taking ages. If you invest cheap, it's going to, it won't last. So it's the same with us here and in Scotland. We've only got, I think, 4 or 5 cameras at a game, something like that. But then down south, they've got 60 cameras or something like that. And they've all got different angles for corner flags, and they've got all these drones and everything else. And we've got 4 or 5. The one at Far Park just said it all. Jota's no offside. There's guys who are Motherwell fans who are saying, we were making fun of it and he's never offside. And because of where the angle was in the mega bar, They're saying it's offside. I don't know what
Honestly, the camera view, when the camera view came up on the telly, the guy's literally standing outside the mega bar away from it. You're like, how can you see that's offside for there? Just when you touch on there, the other side of the bar, obviously you talk about Hon Bosnap was. It's got to be difficult, I think, for them this season, mate, because they've certainly lost their backsy. Connor Goldson's away now, mate, so they'll not be having the extra saves coming to help them.
They've got one less goalie this year now, haven't they? So the new rule as well might suit with the handballs, because there was a few handballs last season that they got away with. So I think the rest are going to be a bit more lenient with handballs as well this season. So they might not concede any penalties this year with Big Connor gone.
No. Ryan, it's not that. I heard in training, mate, he's actually a goalie. For our Slimming.
Well, he's a keeper, mate. Apparently,
apparently, he's a keeper, aye.
But no,
I know, man. He signed for a team in green and white and the Dairy Huddle. He must be like that. What's going on to me now, man? What's happened? Does something not like me?
You've seen the picture. He's not doing the huddle. I'm going to message him.
He's not doing it. He's standing up.
I'm going to message him saying, you're in green and white now. Just wear it. Just get in the huddle.
Just say it, Connor. Just say it.
Just say to him, you need to go down, Connor. You need to go down a bit lower. Why? Because you'll not hear what's going on, mate, if you don't.
Up there, man. It's crazy. I think Baz and the guys in Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship and League One, League Two, they'll probably be happy that VR's not there yet, because I think, Baz, you've seen it yourself up here, and the difference up here compared to down south, and obviously yourself not having it. It's to hear the Premiership night and day, but I'd rather be in your shoes, mate, and not have it, because at least obviously it would help having a bit of technology, but at least if you're on the same playing field, you've not got it. If the ref makes a mistake, I know it might cost you a league, it might cost you a goal or a game, but you just got on with it. It's normal, and you just kind of got on with it.
Well, yeah, I think I've not really spoke to any of the Premiership players about it, or SPL players or that, but I just think if you had that, you're not just playing football, you're having to play, you're thinking about other things when you should be just concentrating and going out and playing football. But I think with that VAR and that, like you said, certain players, you can see them now, like defenders are putting hands behind their backs as they're going to block crosses and that. That never happened. It's only since this new rules came out that defenders have started doing that, and you see defenders coming out charging down to shots with hands behind their backs and that. They're off balance. It's crazy, and that's simply because VAR's come in and made footballers think more than think about things that they shouldn't be thinking about. They should just be going out there and playing football, but they're thinking about other things to stop getting pens or red cards or whatever it may be. It's mental.
100%. On you go, Ryan.
You see it all over the place, especially in England, the Premier League and up here as well. But defenders are going unnatural, and they're running with a horn behind their back or the horns at the side, and it only takes a tricky player. Just say in Scotland, you had Jota. You get a half defender, he's going with his horn behind the back. I think Jota's going to close it. Then he's away, and that's him lost his man. But like I said, he's thinking about put my horns out here, with that day. So I don't know what they need to do, if it's investment. I think probably that is one thing, JP, it is investment, because I know the Scottish game isn't collecting money, but they've got to come up with something to improve the technology and improve. I don't know if it's improving referees' eyesights in terms of better referees. Is it the referees that improve? I don't know, JP, but something's got to give, because it's going to be continuous mistakes every week, and it's not fair on the teams, JP. It's not fair on these guys who are working hard every day for their teams and sacrificing life, and then a mistake could cost them a league or cost them a goal or cost them a game or relegation. So that's something that's got to be handled, I was saying.
100%, mate. Yeah, definitely. And we need to try and do what's best for Scottish football. Like you says, if it means investing in different software to help them, then you need to do that, because you want to make it as best as you can and more of a level playing field for everyone involved.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get Wally in the half-10 show. That'll give him some funds.
Aye, definitely. Definitely. He was on earlier. He put in his comment earlier saying, "Good evening, gentlemen." He was on here earlier. Wee Willie Collin. I'm going to miss Wee Willie. He's now the head of referees, isn't he? So we'll not get to see him as much now. We'll see him at seminars and. Yeah? He's chucked it. He's chucked it. But that's it. We're going to miss him, and somebody else will need to take the abuse Willie took now, and might be John Beaton. Who knows? It might be somebody else. Somebody else is going to get dogs abuse now, and Wally will get away with it. A wee comment there for Paul Maguire. He says, "What's the news on Maeda?" Well, we were told a couple of days ago, Paul, that Maeda will be fine, mate. I think he was just going to miss yesterday, and he'll be back on the grass this week. Which, obviously, Baz, I'm really happy he's got to be back on the grass, mate, because it might actually make him play better.
Who dies in?
Aye. If he's back on the grass, it might make him play better.
Hopefully no, he doesn't need that. He's got enough energy.
Just likes a square battery of 4 games, doesn't he? He just does that in the changing room with a battery, and then away he goes.
Explode.
He takes my rain, you'll see my coffee shop, my Guy Street, won't you?
Aye. Still out trying to press things in Paisley Road West at 6 o'clock at night after again. Funny, it's not that, know what I mean? But, listen, lads, what a chat, honestly. Superb. Baz, it's been amazing to have you back on again.
That's been brilliant.
Really enjoyed it. It's good to see you, mate. It's good to obviously use kick off this week and all, so it'll be good to see you back in action. I take it all the boys are looking forward to it.
Aye, mate, we've got Sunday, we're on the telly at 4 o'clock against Plymouth at home, so we're just looking forward to playing, and I getting back to the nitty gritty and the real stuff. Friendlies, they get a bit boring, mate, towards the end as you get older as well, and you keep playing 45 minutes and then you play another 45. You probably only start to get into a game after 20 minutes, and then you've got 20 minutes left and you're off. So it's good to get into the real stuff, mate, and playing for points again. Pre-season's good, but it's, you know what it's like, mate. It's all about fitness and staying fit and not getting injured. It's not really about minutes and winning games. It's about staying ready for this big opener on Sunday. So we've performed well recently as well. The boys said their confidence is sky high, and we're looking forward to it, mate. Aye,
Ryan's been missing you, mate. He's kind of been missing Danny Rolls' footies with his white leather knee-high boots and that on, his double denim that on him. He's been raging at the fact that it's been a long summer for Ryan, mate.
He's going to, I think Danny Rolls changing style for this season, so the wee man will have a few more options after this Sunday for the half-10 shows.
Right, next time you go down and see Baz, we'll get him with a wee French woman and Danny's clothing reel over there, mate. You'll be able to get a wee choice of that. Don't take that down the stair, mind you, because that's the ordinary people that sit down there.
As long as it's stinking, by the way, then I'll take it. If it's stinking Danny, then I'll be absolutely buzzing with that, man.
Here we can earn sniffing his sleeves like that. What's going on the hell's that? What kind of deodorant does he wear?
Where's the white boots? Where are they? No, but you're right.
Angling his denim jacket and a photo of Clint Eastwood pops out.
But like you said, JP will be good for Baz and the lads to get back in it. Obviously, they've done well in terms of the transfer window. We've obviously kept an eye on the transfers and stuff in the pre-season. And let's be fair, I think they're looking good, JP. I think it'll be a good season for them. Obviously, Baz is still there as well, so for another while. So it's good to keep that in your place as well. Baz yourself as well, the same kind of guy when they book you as well, and adding some new blood to the team. It's only beneficial for you and the manager.
A wee question here, Baz, before you finish up, mate. For Big Barry, he said, "Fantastic to see you, Baz. What you think of our chances in the Champions League? Do you think Brendan Rodgers will adapt their style, particularly away from home?" And he says, "Hail, hail."
Good, great question.
What did you do that at the end of the show, Baz? Come on, man. We're all finishing up, man. You put a question like that in.
I would have said probably aye. Before these pre-season games. I don't know if that's going to give him a false sense or no by going and playing the way they did against Chelsea and Man Cities and that. But I would like to think, that he will change the style just to get a result. I think you need to be able to adapt to play at the top level. As a manager, to be called a top manager, you need to be able to adapt to what's in front of you. And I think Brendan will. Whether that's changing formation or maybe bringing a winger out to go 4-4-2 and play a striker, or Matt O'Reilly after striker just to pack the midfield. I don't know, but I think there has got to be a bit of a change somewhere along the lines, because you can't keep going the same way we've been going in Europe. Something needs to change, whether that's going, no negative, but a bit more defensive away from home. I don't think the fans will have a problem with that, because we're just crying out to improve in Europe as a club, as his fans as well. So if he tries something different that doesn't work, he's tried it. At least there'll be no people moaning. Say, well, there will be anyway, because fans will always moan. But at least it shows that he is trying, and he's trying to get us through groups. But I think, obviously it's hard to say because we've not seen the groups or that yet. But I think Celtic stand a strong chance of getting through the group this season. Given we had one or two more players, I think the squad at the minute would be difficult, but it's no. I wouldn't write them off, but I think they need to add if they want to get through the groups.
Me, man, you shouldn't have said that, man. Me, Jimmy Calderwood's there getting all excited, man. He's rattling away with his rosary beads there, man. He's going, oh, yes, you're good too. But, listen, great chat tonight, lads. As I said, best of luck, Baz, for the opening day of the season, mate. Really hope it goes well for you.
It should be good, mate. You'll see it, and no doubt you'll be watching on Sunday after Celtic play Hibs. So,
yep.
Hopefully we can get after a flyer like the Celtic did yesterday, and then it adds to your confidence for the season. We need to kind of go out and try and lay a marker down as well on Sunday, because you've seen with Ipswich last season, they flew out the blocks, and then you start to get no teams fearing you, but you get a respect straight away for teams then when they come to play you then. So we need to make sure that we're a team this season that are going into games fully respected from the other teams, because that does definitely help you in them games. So hopefully we can go on Sunday. It's going to be a tough game. Rooney's the manager, new manager. They're going to want to impress. It's on Sky. There's loads of factors for them as well. But we know if we're at our A game at home in front of the fans, that we're a tough team to beat.
Get Wayne on the podcast, I know, mate. I'm heard he's partial to a wee knee-high boot in his time as well. So, and he's a big Celtic fan as well. Yep. So, be excellent. But no, listen, fantastic. Thank you very much to everyone that's joined in the comments, and the two callers we had on tonight, John and Francis. And thanks for your time, lads.
Hail, hail.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, folks. See you again. Bye.
See you later.